Peter Hedges.
Hi there.
He's the director of the new Disney film, The Odd Life of Timothy Green.
True. It's true.
Why green?
Why green?
Everybody's green in this hotel.
You know, when Amit Zappa, who conceived this project, came to me and said, it's called The Odd Life of Timothy Green, I thought, well, that kind of sounds like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, which was my first novel and first screenplay. And I thought the title was great, and Timothy Green made sense. Timothy's a name I love, and Green seemed great, and it also seemed like since he comes in a plant-based way to the world, he comes in a magical way, it seemed an appropriate name. And why mess with a good thing?
And you wrote the script as well.
Yes.
So you took his concept and you wrote the script.
Well, we actually met and we talked about at that point when he came to me, the qualities were not fully flushed out, the qualities that they write down for the kid. And so Scott, one of our other producers, and Amit and I met for a number of days, and we just spitballed and came up with, we expanded on what those qualities could be, tried to make them more specific, and imagined what they could be. They went away, and I had a little more work to do on a novel I was writing, and then I started writing, and the concept, the premise for the story, and then what we talked about, and then just the act of starting to fill this out and get to know these people led to what we ultimately ended up with.
Now, why a pencil factory? Is it because of the leaf connection?
Well, it's interesting. I knew, as I was writing this script, the economy just kept getting worse and worse, and everyone I knew and know was getting more and more anxious about work, and will there be work, and will there be work for our children, and what's happened to America, and all of that going on. I read about a town in Indiana that had a factory. They made campers, and that factory closed, and the town was decimated. And I thought it would be good if Timothy lived in a small town, because in a small town, everybody notices everything. In a big city, you could come out of the ground and have leaves, and nobody would even know you're there. I mean, there are probably lots of people walking around Los Angeles where we're meeting, talking with leaves. Not a big deal. But in a small town, there are consequences for that. There's a reason to hide it. And your secrets are less secrets in those small towns. So in imagining the factory, I wanted the factory to be central to the town, and I wanted that factory to be threatened with possible closure. So the question was, what did the town make? Around this time, a very good friend of mine from college passed away, way too young. But he was from a town in Tennessee called Shelbyville, and I'd say, "What's Shelbyville like?" And I never visited there, and he said, "Well, it's the pencil capital of the world."
Oh.
And so I started to research pencil factories and found there were only a couple in America.
Wow.
But I loved the pencil because the pencil is one of the simplest things that we make, but it's the tool by which so much can be done.
Yeah.
And if it was something more specific and limiting, I just like the pencil. Everybody's touched a pencil. Everybody's held a pencil.
Yeah.
And the pencil, now we have these gadgets, we have computers, we have all of this technology. But if there was a blackout, if we lost all power, you run out, pencils are forever. So it just seemed like a great unifier for the town, and a kind of a great symbol of something that we used to make in America that we don't make as much anymore, that may be in danger of not being made anymore. And so I felt that would give more meaning to our story for our couple, Jim and Cindy. didn't know if they were going to be able to make it.
Yeah, it
the
did
next day.
keep me on my feet.
Yeah,
Will they both be fired? Or
will they both be
what
fired?
will happen?
And, look, one of the things that's not said about being a parent is, you can isolate and say, is he a good parent or not a good parent? But most people who are parenting are working too hard. Working hard so their kids can eat and have clothes. A lot of times parents are in whole other parts of the world working, either in the service or working where they go where the work is, but the family's elsewhere. So, and you're doing that so you can have the family, but you can't even be with the family. To enjoy. So, it was important to complicate their journey. And their journey is, yes, we can have a kid, we get a kid in a magical way, but we might lose our jobs. But how are we going to make it if we do? And those are very real things that impact how people parent.
Yeah.
Because if you're worried about whether you're going to pay your bill or not, and you come home at the end of the day after working too many hours, and your kid is annoying you, and you're feeling such enormous pressure, that's when they get hit, that's when they get yelled at, that's when you say the things you wish you didn't say, because you're under so much pressure. And I felt that to make a film like this and not have touchstones like that, like the fertility issue and the work issue and the environment issue, then the story would be just easy to dismiss.
It wouldn't have a lot of layers.
It wouldn't have layers or as much meaning.
Also, I was saddened when it came to the point when you know that Timothy's life is shortened. Why shorten his life? Was there a point to that?
Well, I don't know. He doesn't say, without giving away the end, that his life is shortened. He says, when my leaves go, I move on.
Oh,
but I don't.
Gotcha.
It was very important. We don't see him get. In the original version, Amit presented to me that he died. Timothy died, but I don't think he died. I think he leaves.
Yeah.
And the reason he leaves is because why is Timothy there? What's his purpose?
Yeah.
And as I understand it, as I've worked on the story, and Timothy's begun to make himself clear to me, is that his purpose is to do two things. One is to tell them that they're ready to be parents. And he also says, you were always ready.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing he tells them is, never give up.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Yeah. At the end, they started again.
They start again.
Yeah.
And so without giving away the end of the movie, it's...
I'll wait.
I think it was important that he... it's also a reminder that... we don't know how long we get anybody.
True.
And I heard once a friend speak at the funeral of his child. His child passed. And he said, if you came to me and said, we're going to give you an amazing kid. He's great. He's a fantastic kid. Yeah. You're going to love him more than life. But you get him this long.
Yeah.
Do you want it? And he said, I'd make that deal every time.
Yeah. I lost my husband, 35, after 15 years.
Ooh.
So your relationship, because CJ totally loves you, and you totally love him.
Yeah.
And I have a grandson that's 7 that's in acting, and he has such a personality, the directors always kind of latch to him. Is that often for you working with kids, or was CJ special?
Well, CJ is special, no question. I mean, we had a history from our previous film. But I have never worked with a kid that I didn't like initially and love by the time we were done working. It's a real potentially damaging experience for a kid to be in a film. I mean, you don't know if they can handle what might come if the film becomes a big thing and they blow up, they become so famous. So I spend a lot of time with kids before I cast them. I get to know the parents, try to understand their motive for acting. Like, why do they want to do this? Are they doing it for their parents? Are they doing it because they're really interested? Can I pretty much guarantee they're going to have a very positive and supportive experience? And am I willing to know that in my heart, and Jennifer said it best, you cast a kid in the movie, they get you for life, And I expect and I hope that I'll be in CJ's life in some capacity, always.
He seems like a fascinating young man.
He's a fascinating young man. He has amazing parents. He's been raised beautifully. He's a great older brother who adores him and he adores. And I'm very hopeful that he's going to just be fine.
I think so too. And you did a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. What a pleasure.